All right, guys, so let's get the call started right now. Super excited about tonight's training. How many of you guys have been enjoying the skills camp these last couple of weeks? If you've been plugging in from the beginning every single day, right up to today, drop some sevens in the chat for me, man. Drop some sevens in the chat for Chairman Lashley and for myself. If you guys have been enjoying the skills camp these last couple of weeks. Awesome. And then about this book right here, how many of you actually took the time out to order this book right here, Building an Empire? If you did, drop a 5 in the chat. Let me see who has actually went ahead and purchased this book. So I see a few 5s coming in. And I wanted, okay, Nigeria, I see you said you got it about a week ago. I want to start the call off by highlighting again the importance of getting this book. You know, the truth is that one of the things that I learned about success in network marketing in this industry, it has a lot to do with something known as your teachability index. Your teachability index says your willingness to learn times your willingness to change will determine how teachable and coachable you are. And then that will determine the level of success that you will have in this business. And if you've got a high willingness to learn, that is, you like to come on these calls, you like to, plug in, you like the environment. But then when, an instruction is given on the call to purchase a book, that willingness to change, if that's at a 0 and you don't follow the instruction, that means you're not as teachable and coachable as you think you are. And that becomes a lid and that becomes a limitation on the amount of success that you can have. So again, guys, you want to get this book. I'm telling you, I saw this in my life personally. When I purchased this book and I began to study it and apply it and really use the principles in here, I saw my income double, triple, because it's a system. You guys know this. We talk about always following the system. Success has a system to it. And if you can identify what that system is and apply it, then guess what? You can almost predict your success. That's why when you hear me say that an individual is going chairman, or I believe that a person is going to go chairman in this business, it's not because I'm saying that because I want to be cool and I want to encourage them. No, it's because success has a system and they have been following that system, which increases your chances of having results in this particular industry. So that's very important. And I'm glad that many of you, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you got the book. So again, if you have not gotten the book as yet, guys, please do so. So let's get into the training here right now. I love to always start off these calls with a quick recap because the truth is that there's so much information, there's so much trainings, there's so much data coming at all of us every single day. And sometimes we could get lost in the sauce. That's what my boy Romario says. Sometimes we could get lost in translation, and not knowing what we're supposed to know or what we're supposed to focus on. We end up doing the wrong activity sometimes, right? We end up doing the activity, but sometimes it's the wrong activity. And because, we are not aware of what we're supposed to know, sometimes we're not able to get the results that we want, even though we're engaging in activity. That's why it's important to know that it's really about what works, right? It's really not about what works, it's about what duplicates in this business. And, the truth is that you may have a system, you may have a strategy that's working, but if it's not duplicatable, if it's not something that you can teach to your team and your team is aware of what they need to be doing, that can also act as a lid, just like how I spoke about the teachability index at the beginning. So let's talk about what you should know right now up to date from the last call that Mr. Lashley did a great fundamental promoters training. And I thought it was a really, really good call. And I want you guys to just, watch over the recording because there's a lot of keys in there as well. A lot of them came from this book. And that's why I'm going to tell you guys again, I created this PowerPoint intentionally, right? With the Building an Empire graphic to the side, because I believe these are clues that I'm leaving, and those of you that are looking for the clues of success, those of you that are looking for the trail, the clues are right in front of you. Get the book. The information is in there. And there's a lot of stuff that we don't intentionally share with you. Why? Because I said this 2 weeks ago, as a leader, you need to know when to be a sign and when to be a signpost. And I don't think many of you got that a couple of weeks ago. Some of you messaged me and said they thought it was real deep again, because those of you that look at this thing through the lens of leadership, you will understand what that statement means. You need to know when to be a sign and when to be assigned posts. And on these calls, my goal is to be assigned posts so you know exactly where to look, where to go. I don't want you to think that I'm the source of information, right? I don't want you to think that, I'm the one with the knowledge, right? I don't want you to think that about me. As a leader, I know when to get you to think that about me. But with these calls, I'm pointing towards the resource, and all of us on this line, we need to know when to be able to do that, right? There's a saying that I use a lot: the man that controls the spotlight controls the show. If you know where to shine the spotlight, how to shine the spotlight, you could really see massive results, because different people or different situations need the spotlight on them at different times. So I'm hoping you guys are following. I'm hoping this is making sense to you. But let's get into the recap. So you should know right now that after the training that Kai did on Monday, that promoters get promoted. How many of you guys agree with that? If you agree that promoters get promoted, drop a P in the chat. Let me see. Promoters get promoted. If you believe that the better you become at promoting, the faster you're going to see your business move forward. All right, good. So since Monday, how many of you have been intentional about promoting the calls, promoting the events, promoting the moments? And I want to talk about that tonight as well, because, every moment in this business is an event. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. An event, we learned this from my boy, Chad Thompson. He said, events elevate vision and eliminate negative thinking. And there's moments specifically designed to elevate your vision, right? There's moments specifically designed to teach you how to think rightly, right? So I want you guys to understand that an event really is not just, people gathering in a room, a convention, or a call. An event could be any moment, right? That a leader is there. For example, whether it's an Instagram live, whether it's a book promoting your upline and your leaders' resources. And we're going to talk about that, because the truth is that one of the biggest reasons why individuals don't promote is because they don't know what they're supposed to be promoting, right? Like, for example, this call. I heard Kai ask it on the Monday call. How many of you promoted for this call right here? Right? How many of you promoted for this call right here? Let's see. All right. And how do you know that you were promoting this call as opposed to just posting about this call, right? How many of you know that you were not just announcing? Because look at what I have here. We're still recapping. Announcers just share information, but promoters edify the event and get people to see the value. So how do you know, right? So you emphasize the value. What else? What else? So you emphasize the value. Let me see who else. Who else promoted this call, and what did you do? Edify the 5 p.m. training. I'm talking about this call. And if you promoted this call, what did you do to prove that you promoted this call? Did you just post the flyer up or edified from the 5 p.m. training? Awesome. Who else? Who else? What did you do to promote this call or any call? Let's make it easy for you, because, as a leader, my responsibility, right, as a leader is to challenge you to grow, right? And what that will mean sometimes is that you will hear things that are not comfortable. You will experience things that are not comfortable, because it's only when you are uncomfortable, you grow, right? And, you hear people say all the time, growth takes place outside of your comfort zone, all of these cliche, not really cliche, all these statements that people like. But the reality is that until you are intentional about getting uncomfortable, then that means that you are not intentional about your growth. So let's talk about it here. Nobody else promoted for this call tonight or promoted anything tonight. Not anything, any calls since Monday. I see 4 people, and we got 48 people on the call. Shakara, and it's actually 3 people, because Shakara commented twice, and then there was Tammy, and then there was Fiona. So, okay, good. So I'm not going to spend too much time here, because I get the impression that, a lot of people are promoting, and that's what we're going to talk about here as well. Because, one of the challenges, I mentioned it a couple minutes ago, that one of the reasons why people don't promote is because they don't know what they're supposed to promote. They think that only grand events or only things that they see as valuable should be promoted, right? And we're going to talk about that in a bit. So, okay, this is what you guys said. Promote 8:30, 30-minute reminder. Didn't promote this call, but I promote other calls. Okay, great. So good. So look at this again. And not to just share information. So you got to make sure that you're not just sharing information. But look at number 3. Promote through layers of leadership. Those with the loudest voices and with the most influence. And that has some pros and cons. And I'm going to talk about that briefly. But, how many of you guys use the layers of leadership in your business to promote a call, an event, an Instagram live, a resource with your upline or your leader? How many of you guys do that? So for example, you've got leaders, or more so, let me use the word influencers in your group. People respond to certain voices in your group. How many of you did that or used that strategy this week since Kai went through that on Monday? This is very important stuff, guys, because if you're the only trumpet in your business, then the echo, then the sound more so is not going to go as far, because you're the only one that's that's sounding the trumpet. You're the only one that's blowing, I almost said shofar. I don't know if you guys know what a shofar is. So, okay, so that's a great question, Nigeria. I love that question. So let me tell you what I mean by promoting through layers of leadership. So for example, you may be a platinum 5,000 in this business or a platinum 2,000 in this business. You did not get to that rank by yourself. If you look in your, this is an example, because I know Nigeria, you recently got started, but each rank has levels of leaders in it. So for example, at Platinum 2000, you may have maybe one P1000 in your group and a couple, maybe 2 Platinum 600s and a few P150s and then the rest of customers. Because these individuals have had a measure of success and from a rank standpoint, they may have a measure of influence. And you want to be able to get them to trumpet and to promote the cause or promote the events, promote, the moments to their group as well. All right. So let's see. So Stefan and Maria push that in our group. So anybody else use layers of leaders? Anybody? What about if you're a P2 on this line? Let's see. Do you have layers of leaders that promote with you? Because if not, again, if you're the only voice in your group, I'm gonna tell you this here, very transparent. Look, it is very not unlikely. Let me word it differently. Your group, right, needs to hear more than one voice. That's why on TTT it's not just me and Kai, especially on TTT, right? Whether it's promoting, whether it's presenting, whether it's training. If your group is only hearing and seeing you, there's a lot of limitations on that. There's a lot of restraint on that, right? And you want to make sure you understand these principles. But let me talk about this part right here, the pros and cons. Let me ask you guys a question. And again, this is for all of you that, build this business through the lens of leadership. Why would I say that there are pros and cons of promoting through layers of leadership? Think about your business right now. What is a pro of using your group to be able to promote? Not just you. What's a pro of that? I want to hear from you guys. Think about it. Why is that? Why is that a good thing? When you've got layers of leadership in your group promoting the cause. Why is that a good thing? Why is it not only, why if it's just you, that's a bad thing? You get further reach, absolutely. What else? Think of it from the lens of leadership. And the reason why I like to highlight these points here, because this is what my coach and mentor said to me, Akim, everything rises and falls on leadership. And if you want to have success in this business, like massive success, you need to focus on leadership and belief. Nothing else. Everything fits into those 2 pillars. So I build my business by focusing on those 2 things. So if I understand, okay, so let me see, it shows that they share belief, empowering others, information is easy given out so it can be accessed. So all of you are correct. One of the pros of being able to have layers of leadership, communicating and dispersing information throughout the group, it's a way of leveraging, all right? It's a way of being able to use many hands to make the work light, many voices to promote the same song, many soldiers marching at the same beat. It will be more effective that way. But let's talk about a con of this here now. Let's talk about a con. Let me see what Kirk says. Giving the leaders a task You limit the persons you follow up with. The leaders then duplicate your activity by connecting with their leaders. So correct, that's correct as well. Enforces the importance. You're right. Another voice strengthens the importance of the call. But let's talk about a con now of promoting through layers of leadership. Message could be misconstrued. Correct. Let's hear another con. Let's hear another con. Because like Janiel said, or Janiel, forgive me if I pronounce your name incorrectly. If the message is not the same message, if the leaders are not saying the same thing, then that means that there's a disconnect, because there's not one bound, one sound, one voice, right? Your leaders must be on the same wavelength as you, otherwise information could be falsely given. Okay, Janelle, okay, I got you. But catch this, right? And you want to write this down. As leaders begin to develop and grow in your group, egos begin to develop and grow as well. And if a leader does not see value in what you are promoting, they may not promote what you tell them to promote. If they don't see the value in what it is that you're highlighting. So for example, practical example, we did David had the call last night or night before with Ivy Hilliard. Shout out to all of you that were on that. If you did not see, or if you don't see value in Believe Nation, David Emonitier, et cetera, that call is not going to be promoted to your group. And or that call, if you give the responsibility to a leader who does not see value in David and Ivy Hilliard, that call that was happening with two of those gentlemen and the other pastor, that would not be promoted to your group. So what happens now is that information stops at a particular point. So how do you solve that? If we say that, all right, you want to use layers of leadership to promote information, but that can be a con, that can be a problem. How do you get around that? How do you get around that? Because look what Greg said, that means that things are not being duplicated. Absolutely. All right. So how do you get around that? How have you guys in this business have been able to get around that? What do you do? Because it's right here. It's right here on the screen. It's actually point 4. All right. When individuals recognize the importance of what it is that we have here, when people see the value of what it is that we have here for themselves, right? Look at what Shakara said. When people get clear for themselves, they begin to trumpet and promote. So the reality is that until individuals get personal, remember, I think I mentioned it on Monday, a personal revelation or a personal being able to just recognize the value of whatever is being promoted for themselves, what's going to happen is that you may always get stuck with information stopping at layers of leaders. So you as a leader now, you've got to find a way to empower, educate, make sure that the people in your group are growing with you and catching what it is that you are promoting, so that in the event that leader that for some reason a leader doesn't see value in Gary McSween or David Emonitier, you've got the majority of people growing with you at the same time that, hey, look, they know when the call is happening and they begin to promote as well. They begin to promote. That's the key there. You want to have many people in your group, because the truth is, and this is what I learned from David as well, right? We want to all, this is what David said. This is what network marketing is. This is what network marketing is. You get the few that bring the many, right? Excuse me. You get the few that bring the many. You get the few that do the majority, right? But you also have to find a way to get the many to do the little bit, because in the many doing the little bit, that's when the few emerge, right? That's when the few do the extra. That's when the few do more. So your goal as a leader has to get to a point where your entire group understands the importance. And look at what Kai said in the chat. They have to come to a place of ownership. Ownership, that's very important. How do you do that? By leading and going deep, allowing them to recognize the value that we have here. So good. Then he said promote with the stories. That's very important as well. And then you become a top earner in the company when you become a top promoter. Really, really think about that. You become a top earner in the company when you become a top promoter. So again, Guys, you should know this stuff because that's what Kai went through in the call on Monday. Fundamental, very sound training. Really, really, really grateful for him and what he's been doing in the takeover as a chairman in this business. Guys, you want to watch the recording because there are nuggets in there. But this is what we're going to be going through today, right? Because how many of you guys can agree? When it comes to promoting for events or promoting for specific moments in this business, it's just like if you were inviting a guest to see a presentation. How many of you can agree with that? That promoting and getting butts in seats to see a presentation is just like promoting and getting butts in seats to come to an event. All right? Okay, good. So I'm seeing all of you say in the chat you agree. So perfect. So here's the strategy that you want to always have in your mind. Because remember, we said, or most of Kai said it on the call on Monday, when you're promoting, you don't want to just post a flyer in the chat and just leave it like that, right? You don't want to just say, hey guys, get on the call on at 10 p.m. A chairman is doing the call. At 9 p.m. a chairman is doing the call. You want to highlight and emphasize the value. Now, here's the thing. There's some individuals that even though they do all of that, they give you a nice write-up and they give you a nice flyer and everything promoting the event. Some people are still not going to come on the call. Why is that? Because remember, everybody's different. Everybody has different personality types. And the purpose of this call is to show you how to craft your quote unquote generic promotion flyer or promotion text or whatever you want to call it, so that it appeals to all of these individuals. Because all of these individuals are in the group, right? How many of you guys can agree? In your WhatsApp group that you promoted this call for, they got reds in there, they got blues in there, they got greens in there, they got, how many of you guys can agree with that? How many of you can agree that we got reds on this call? What's a red? What's a red? We went through this in the prospecting, so all of you should know what this is. What is a red? We definitely got reds on this call. We definitely got blues on this call. We definitely got greens and yellows on this call, and they're all in the groups. So if I just give a generic promotion, hey guys, get on this call at 10 p.m., at 9 p.m. with Chairman Bourne, it's going to be lit. Who does that inspire? Who does that make to want to take action, right? So you want to make sure that you know how to communicate to each of them individually so that you can craft a message that communicates to all of them all at once. How many days are following so far? You want to know how to be able to communicate and promote effectively to each of them individually so that you can craft a message that hits on each color and attracts each of them all one time. Great. So what's a red? Let's talk about what reds are. All right. So what are reds? What's a red? Give me an example. Let's make it fun. So what's a red and who in our group is a red? So Tammy is a red. Yep. Mario is a red. I don't know about that. But what's a red? Somebody tell me before we list the names. I saw Shakara was the only person that said aggressive, the executioners. Najeri says persons that like to take charge. How many of you guys remember that we went through this in prospecting? You guys remember that? Kai is the one that went through it actually. But we went through it on Kai's call. Kai went through it. But let's see what you should know this. So reds are money motivated. They're determined, they're competitive. They're results focused. I'm gonna take two more. Driver, competitive. I'm gonna take one more. You gotta know this. You should have this written down somewhere that you can all, somebody said reds are rational thinkers. Is that true? Is a red a rational thinker? But while you're listening that, give me some examples of reds in our team. So somebody said Tammy's a red. Somebody said Romario is a red. Is Romario a red? Kai is a red. I am a red. Gavin is a red? But anyhow, right? We can have some fun here tonight. We're gonna have some fun here tonight. Look at what I have here. In order for you to effectively promote to a reg, because we understand that regs are money motivated, they are competitive, they are aggressive, they like fast success, they like fast results. This is what you need to be able to do. You need to be able to mention money to be made from being at the event and how attendance will quicken their success, because that's what regs are interested in. Regs are interested in moving quickly. How many of you guys can agree with that? That regs are interested in not taking shortcuts, but finding the shortest path possible so they don't have to go through so much. How many of you guys can agree? Okay, so you said that. Is Romario a red first? Nah, Romario's actually a green, very green, right? But we're going to talk about that, right? So you want to make sure that you highlight and mention the money that can be made, right? And how a call like this, if they attend, they're going to get some strategy, they're going to get some information that can speed up their success. Catch this one here too. Number 2, mention top earners being there. So for example, if this was a convention, you want to mention the other top earners being there, or getting a chance to hear from top leaders in the company, getting a chance to hear from a chairman in the company. Because look, they get a chance to hear me, because that's where they see themselves going. That's a very important point there. You want to mention where they see themselves going. So I know that regs, listen, they're very, very success oriented. So if you can highlight the individuals in our business that are having massive success and tell them, hey, look, yo, David is going to be at that hotel is the Hilton after this convention, fam. After the little meeting that we had here in Barbados, David is going to be at this event. I feel like you should be there. That alone, because David is a top earner, and most regs see themselves as top earners, they want to be there. Look at this now. Number 3, mention promotions and new challenges. Why? Because regs love challenges. Regs are competitive. Regs love the leaderboards, and Reg loves the incentives to show their strengths, to show what they're good at. You know, Regs love to do things that highlight their strengths. So you want to say, okay, well, you know, at convention, we're going to go through this practically on Wednesday next week, because we want to see how you guys are using it to communicate and promote in your groups. Because again, all these colors are in your groups. So let me ask a question. How many of you guys get excited about promotions and new challenges? Like when there's a cash promotion in the group, when you've got a chance to win some money. Because here's the thing, and I want to hear this from you guys. Do you guys think we have a lot of regs in our team? Somebody said yes. We got a lot of regs in our team. Would you say that's the majority of our team? Like we got, of all the different personality types in our team, would you say the majority of our team is red? Remember, you wanna always be looking at your business through the lens of leadership. I learned this from Lukwamana, right? So you're thinking about your group now. You're thinking about those of you who are, you know, P2 and above, P1 and above. You're thinking about the takeover by extension, your group. Would you say the majority of the takeover is reds? Oh, no, their personalities are strong, so it seems like a lot of them, right? Yeah, of course not. The majority of our team, there we go, right? It will reflect in the leaderboard, absolutely, right? So it's not that we have a lot of reds, but the majority of our group, it's not red. It's not red, right? So that's why things like new promotions, new challenges, you know, leaderboards, incentives to win trips and win money and stuff like that, that only really appeals to the reds at the core. So from a promoting standpoint, you need to be able to talk about those things, because that's what matters to the reds, right? That's what matters, right? So you want to be able to communicate and highlight these things because they're keywords that each color needs to hear. You want to write that down. An effective strategy is making sure that the keywords each of these colors hear when you're pointing towards an event, or like I said at the beginning, a moment, right? Because, we spoke about it at the beginning, event stands for, elevating vision and eliminating negative thinking. And, there are moments that do that. When I read David's book, when I saw Gary McSween talking about this book and I bought it for myself, that was a moment that elevated my thinking and eliminated negative thoughts, right? And his promotion of that book, I don't even know where I got, I guess, David Ivy Hilliard, right? That was a moment. So you got to recognize that it's not just always an event, really, it can also be defined as a moment. So good. So let's talk about the blues now, right? So before, I don't know if I can cover that. Actually, let me go back. Let's talk about the blues before I go into that. Who would you say is a blue in our team? And, what matters to blues? Because again, this is me just trying to figure out who's actually learning, who's actually applying what it is that we've been going through, who's actually allowing transformation to take place, who's not just getting entertained by these calls, but they're allowing the information to do its work and transform their lives. So let's see. So blues are where the party at. Fun, outgoing. Pennigan, Stefan, Tammy, they're social butterflies. Kim and her husband, Antonia and Kim, that's right. That's right. All of you are correct. I didn't see any wrong. But you're missing one person though. You're missing one person. Ron, but is this another person you're missing? That somebody said he was a red at the beginning. Gavin. Gavin is definitely a blue. Gavin is a blue first. Let me word it like that. Gavin is a blue first. Ron is also a blue first. So would you guys say that we have the majority of our team is blue? Who's a quiet blue? Gavin's a quiet blue. You don't see that video with Gavin dancing in Cancun? You don't see Gavin in no quiet blue? You don't see that video with Gavin dancing in Cancun with the taco? Gavin far from a quiet blue, bro. I would say Gavin is a blue first, then a red. Yeah. Quarantine and not quarantine, lockdown, stopping us from seeing everybody's true colors. I can word it like that. So let's talk about the blues. Right? So look at what it says. Mention how much fun being at an event will be. Because again, I want to bring it into context. Remember I said at the beginning that promoting for events is similar to promoting events to your team. It's just like if you're promoting an event or like a call for a guest, your goal is to get butts in the seats. So you need to know what motivates that individual, right? You need to know what motivates that individual so they can take action and move, right? So if they don't hear or see the trigger words or the keywords, they're not going to move. So Gavin is a bacchanal blue. I love that. That from no one, that's what I call it. I call it certain people. Stefan is definitely a bacchanal blue too. So Danis is a blue, but not first as well. Okay, great. So look, so you want to mention how much fun being at the event will be from an energy and excitement standpoint. So for example, when you think about convention has so much excitement, so much energy, right? There are people that live for that. How many of you guys can agree with that? How many of you guys can agree that there are people that live for the fun? They need to have fun. If they can't have fun, then it ain't really saying nothing for them. It's boring. If it's not a fun event, it's boring. There's no middle ground. It's either fun or it was just hard, right? So you got to be able to mention that. So you got to be able to say something, for example, on these calls, because again, this is over the internet. You got to be able to communicate the fun elements of these calls, which would be every now and then there's a joke that cracks. Every now and then, we make fun of each other in a good way. You got to be able to communicate the fun elements in a smart way, right? You got to be able to talk about the energy and excitement. I've seen some videos with some of the blues in our team that I say, listen, You see them individuals there? Them men love the fun, boy. You see them men shouting in the camera, standing up for the cheers. There's just this one video in my mind with Gavin screaming in the camera. I don't know if you guys know what video I'm talking about, but Gavin is just a blue, right? Stefan as well. But look at this part right here too. Mention a chance to meet and interact with new people from all around the world. Because let me tell you something about blues, and this is what in this book, this is what the writer says, that blues, once they master the craft, they can become some of your most powerful networkers, some of your most powerful recruiters. Why? Because they enjoy meeting new people. They're social butterflies, like Najeri said. They love to be in amongst people and talk to people and engage. When I think about Stefan, every time you go to, man, well, I traveled with Stefan countless times, all right? But I remember specifically because as a leader, I'm paying attention to these things. Stefan would always be making new friends. Stefan got friends from Atlanta. Stefan, you remember when you went, when your name Trap Jack was given to you, bro? You remember how that happened? I remember it clearly. Stefan was talking to somebody in Atlanta, a friend that he met in Atlanta. And I was just being, what's the word? I was just being a bad person, I guess. Because I said sporty. I was just making fun, right? But Stefan was meeting new people. Stefan was floating through the mall, right? That's what blues do. They're social butterflies. They like to connect with new people. They like to see new things. They like to explore, right? They like new experiences. Yeah, the Victoria's Secret. I remember that. I was not going to mention that, but since you brought it up, I don't know if I can share that story. But the guys are laughing, right? But that just again confirms how much of a blue Stefan is. I just confirmed so much fun. If Juju was on this line, Juju would be dying. Because that's just a little episode that we had in the mall in Atlanta where, you know, we were, I guess we were just killing some time. I don't know exactly what we're doing. But this challenge was given to Stefan to do something in Victoria's Secret. And Stefan was 100% for it. I mean, like, Stefan could not wait to get in Victoria's Secret and do this challenge. Why? Because he's a blue, right? So again, you want to point out the fun. Very, very important, guys. When you're promoting these events, you want to highlight the fun that these individuals are going to experience. Let's talk about the greens. Let me pull back up. Let's talk about the greens now. So what are the greens? What the greens like? And list some greens in the team. Who's a green in the team? Yeah. Mario's a green? Mario or Mario? Okay. Mario's a green? Mario's a green? Danielle Beckford is a green. Is she on the line? Mario is definitely a green. What is Shakara? Is Shakara a green? Mario said he just float through. I never got the greenness from you. What is Shakara? Is Shakara a green? Mario said he's float through all. You don't float through all. But is Shakara green, Stefan? What is Shakara? Right, that's right. Must know all the details. Yep, Shakara is definitely a green. Big numbers, facts, figures with terms and conditions. Absolutely. So again, think about these calls. Think about these calls because again, you want to apply what it is that you're learning. How can you get a green? And we're going to practice this on Wednesday, but how can you get a green on a call like this? Right? How can you get a green on a call like this? Because like I have for you, I want to mention the facts and stats. What are the facts about a call like this? All right? What are the facts about a call? What would a call like this? How would you appeal to a call that we're on right now to a green? What would you say? Because they need to hear the facts. So look at what Mario is saying. We find it very difficult if we don't know the structure or reasons why we should. All right. promote detailed info, you show the slides, you talk about you highlight the topic that we're going through. Because here's the key about a green, right? A green needs to know. A green needs to feel informed. If a green doesn't have the information and if they don't feel as though they've got enough information, they're not going to pull the trigger. And that's really for calls like this as well. You've got to have the mentality that this green that you're trying to get on the call, they need to know all that they can know. So for example, like I got here, numbers in attendance. You tell them that, hey, look, this call is going to have on a lot of people, at least 100 people on the line, right? If it was a cost to it, like for example, if it was a cost to get on this call, you got to make sure the green knows what the cost is, and you got to highlight the value, right? You don't say the cost because yes, they need to know the cost, but they also need to know why they're paying this money for it to be on the call. Like I would have got here, make sure they have the details, the date, the time, the location. If you send them the wrong Zoom link at all, and the Zoom link don't work, you might lose them. If you send them, you know, like watch this. How many of you guys ever had somebody on the form and the trust and safety came up and then you lost them? Ever happened to any of you? Or the car wasn't working and then you lost them, right? Or they was filling out the form and they keep getting an error, you know, they keep getting what do you call it? Like, you know, like sometimes you get this error that what was the freaky error that people just get sometimes? Like when you got like a capital M.
Malicious.
Yeah, correct. Malicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that malicious error, which means that you got like a capital or like an asterisk somewhere or something. And then after that, the person gone. Right? Like Stefan said, they're talking about a sign and you know, maybe it wasn't the right time and stuff because they feel as though they don't have everything in line. Everything is not clear for them. Everything is not moving smoothly. That's a green. Greens function from a place of needing to know, right? And that's why, you know, they say about greens, as they grow in the business and they become more knowledgeable, they become some of the most loyal because they get comfortable, well, not really comfortable, they get confident more so in the knowledge that they have about the leadership, they have knowledge about the business, knowledge about the team, and it strengthens their loyalty, right? That's a very important point, right? They don't like to think they are wrong either. Let me see what they need to have a sense of control and stability. So yes, you're right, and I love that, Kellyanne, because their control comes from knowing that they have all the information. That's a powerful point, right? That's where they, because some people, as like Reds control come from being in a place where they can delegate, they can, you know, have authority, but that's not the case for a green. A green feels in control when they have all the information. For me as a red, I don't feel in control when I have all the information. All the information doesn't matter to me. Let's use the sign up process. I don't need to read everything on there, but once I press pay and all, my card go through, that's all that matters to me. All right, let me see what you guys saying in the chat. Right? About the, or they don't like to be wrong about the decision made. So is Xavier agreeing? So Xavier, you're saying you're agreeing? He's agreeing. He's agreeing. They see what Romario said, perfection is often needed. And again, we went through all of this in the prospecting call, but this is good because no, you want to use this information and apply it to how you're actually going to promote and the way that you're going to communicate to effectively get these individuals into to taking action. Because remember I said, if you post a flyer in the group and you put a little caption or a little write-up, if the caption is not worded well enough to attract all the colors, because all the colors are in this WhatsApp group, then everybody may not get on the line. How many of you guys this is making sense to? Because if I just say, yo, get on the call with David, man, he's the #1 African-American income earner in the world, be on the call. That will move the Reds because the Reds see themselves becoming the #1 income earners in the company. But the green, unless the person is a green red, a green first and then a little bit of red, then they may come on the call. But if the person is a green blue, if that person is a green and then a blue, you ain't seeing them because ain't enough information. He's the #1 African American income earner in the world. So what? And they may not tell you that, but that's what's happening in their mind. Why do I need to be on this call? Why can't I go and watch him on YouTube? Why do I need to come to convention when I can watch him on YouTube? And Kai mentioned it, about having the experience, right? Kai mentioned it on Monday. But Greens, they're not interested in that. They're interested in having the stats and the information because that makes them feel fulfilled, right? So Shakara said you're a green red. I'm strengthening my red side. And this is why promoters not just get promoted, but they make a lot of money in this industry. Because when you are able to effectively it's a form of leadership too, right? When you're able to effectively get people to take action. Remember I said at the beginning, you got to know when to be a signer, when to be a signpost. And being a signpost means that I know when to point in a particular direction. I know when to, highlight the importance of being on a call as opposed to it just being me providing the information and me being the one that you're plugging into. You want to be able to communicate in a manner that appeals to all colors. That's a very, very powerful point. And the individuals that do this well, they do very, very well in this business. So Shakara said, Shakara says, I am a green, yellow, blue, then red. So she's all the colors. I've never heard anybody say that before. She's a green, yellow, blue, then red. I guess you mean in the order of, in the order of what matters to you the most. I guess that's what you mean, right? So green, yellow, blue, then red. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Show me the data. Awesome. All right, guys. So let's go to the next color now. So what's the next color? Yellow. Yeah, correct. Everybody is definitely dominantly. Everybody has a bit of everything more so, but you're mostly dominant, too dominant. That's correct. So what's the last color? Yellow. Tell me about yellows. So Kai says Leah is a yellow. But what is a yellow? What does a yellow do? What does a yellow do? Bright yellow like the sun. So they're passionate, they're caring, they care about the whales, they want to save the world, they like global warming, show a lot of empathy, they save the world, they like rainbows, they always want to help and serve. That's very important. That point is critical. What else? What else about yellows? That's important to know because remember, we're looking for the keywords. They need to hear certain words that drive them into action, right? Servants, people, community, family, culture, right? There we go. Helping, serving, giving back, the love. We warming up with the words, people-oriented, other-minded, family team. Those types of words that trigger community and others and serving, those are the type of words that you want to use. So look at what I have here with the yellow. You want to mention the team being together and growing together. Why? Because yellows are about togetherness. They're about unity. They are not that much interested in personal growth. Yes, that matters to them. But what matters more is the groups growing together. And if you really, this is what I think it was, not Ray Higdon. Oh my goodness, the name slipping me now. He's one of those, he's a network marketer too, but this is what he said as I was just preparing for the call. I can't remember his name right now, but this is what he said now about yellows. Because yellows are team oriented, when they get to a point of mastery in this business as it relates to, mastering the skills and being a successful network marketer, they usually have some of the largest groups because they know how to keep the groups together. This is a strong point. I can't remember who the guy named. Gavin, you know who the guy named, man? The ultimate networker. I know, not Jerry DeReno. Is it Jerry DeReno? Is it Jerry? It's not Jerry. It's a white dude, man. But Gavin would know this guy. Fraser, that's again. Fraser's got to do social media. Fraser Brooks is got to do social media. That's him. Yep, him. There we go. Shout out to you guys that are studying, man, and being a student of the industry. He's a social media guy, builds large teams, and the teams are, like really, really unified. Yellows, because they value that, that's what matters to them. They build large unified groups. If you look at the leaders of like some of the largest movements in the world, they have red because they understand the importance of getting the job done, and they're drivers, but they're also yellows. I want to ask you guys a question. Would you say that I'm a red yellow? I'd love to hear from you guys on this. Or what colors would you say, and before I continue, would you say that I'm a red green, a red blue? Because I'm a red first, absolutely. But what's my secondary color? Love to hear from you guys. Let me see what you guys are saying. A red green, a red blue, red green, then yellow, red blue, red yellow, then green. Blue last. I should say blue last because I'm boring. Red, yellow, green, red. Green first. And let's go with what Leah said she knows best. Yeah. So Fabian, you guys are right. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because for me as well, I value the team. I'm not saying that other colors don't value the team, but as a yellow, the team growing together and unity and alignment, you hear me use these words a lot, and the team being aligned and stuff like that, that matters a lot. So you guys are right. Red first, yellow second, blue third, green last. Green, bro, they got some, I'm gonna be transparent with you guys right here now. There are some buttons in I Am Mastery Academy that I have never clicked as yet. I've never clicked stuff. There's something I've never pressed. Real talk. There's some buttons, kind of laughing. There's some areas in the back office that I probably click once. Why? Because green is last. So good. Okay, see the chat. So what's Kai? I see the way you interact with the yellow and people, so yellow second for sure. Okay, great. So let's talk about Kai. So I appreciate that, guys. So what about Kai? Kai is a red. Somebody said red, then blue. So Kai doesn't have any other colors. red. So listed in the 4. This is important, guys, because as your chairman, you've got to know what comes natural, and then where not that it doesn't come natural, but where areas you can compensate. So you're coming in so fast though. So somebody said red, blue, red. Somebody said red, blue, yellow. Somebody said red. Somebody said red, blue. I should have said red, red, blue. So no green, no yellow. Red, blue. Red, green, blue, yellow. Fabian said he ain't even green. Right? He said, I can't agree. Yeah, some of you are saying things that I don't agree with as well. Because there's a measure of green in Kai. Let me show you how, right? Kai is the guy to break down the compensation plan and structure the like for example, Kai created the what do you call that now? Oh Laura, we just call that now? Not a trading plan, it's the other thing. It's the other risk management calculator.
The compound plan.
The calculator.
The risk calculator, yeah.
Risk calculator. There we go. Right. So let's see what so somebody said Kai is a yellow first, green then blue. Kai, guys, you gotta know your leader. All right, then got Fabian laughing. A yellow first? Nah. Red with a green for sure. Right? Okay. So somebody said red and blue dominant. Red then blue? Oh, Kurt, you were talking about you. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, my bad, my bad. I thought you were talking about Kai. Kai don't care about saving the turtles. All Sophia saying is red, red, red. Kai is a red, blue, green. Red first, both Akim and Kai. So Gabby said Kai got feelings. Kai ain't about the rainbows. Kai is a treadmilly. A red. I guess that person meant to say red. To say red. Kai would eat the turtles. My aunt's Kai got feelings. Red, blue. So guys, but we haven't concluded yet. I've seen nobody say the right thing. Let's stay here for a bit because somebody said red first, then blue, then what? Somebody said red first, then green, then blue, then yellow. Wow, so yellow is last. Wow. So red, blue, yellow, then green. Red, blue, yellow, then green. So Ashay and Ajiri, Kelly said he isn't agreeing to me. Now, Kai definitely has some green in him. Definitely has some green. So Kai is a bag of Skittles. Kai is red, yellow, blue, and green. He got green. So, all right, so let's go through it together. So Kai is definitely a red first. Definitely a red first, right? After the red, would you guys say that Kai is a yellow? He cares about the team. Do you get that? Do you feel that? Right after red, the yellow. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, he's always making jokes, but that's a blue. That's a blue. So he definitely cares. Yeah, he cares, but blue first. Both of us care a lot, but I think blue is second. Right. So yeah. So we obviously because remember everyone has, like Stefan mentioned, all the colors on the inside of them. It's just that some are more dominant and some are more seen, and then there are others that are least. So red, he's a red first, definitely. Then a blue, would you guys agree with him being a blue second? Likes to have fun, likes to crack jokes. Okay. Then what's the third color? What's the third color? Green or yellow? Which one? So many green. So you've got 5 greens and 2 yellows. 5 greens and 3 yellows. So I see a lot of greens. So he's green. Okay, so red, this is important. The reason why we're going through this because if you know what the strengths are of your leaders, you can compensate and help in the weaknesses or the areas that are not the main focus. So if he was a yellow after, there would be no, oh gosh, right. I would say his green and yellow are evenly balanced. Okay. His green and yellow are evenly balanced. Right. So we got red, blue, yellow / green, right? This is very funny to me too as well, but it's good because it just allows you to see, where the team's mind is at. See, breaking all the numbers. Kai is definitely a numbers guy. Definitely a numbers guy. Definitely a numbers guy. All right. So let's decide here. So we're saying red. Kai is a red first, then a blue, then a green, then a yellow. Yes. Yellow, then green. I would say yellow, then green as well. Yellow, then green. I think so too. Okay, good. All right, guys. So good. We spent a good little while on that because it's very important that you know that. I know what colors David are. David, all right, is that good English? I know what colors David are. David is. Whichever one is the right one to say. I know what colors Chad are as well. Chad is a very, very strategic marketer. So Chad knows how to very, very well to appeal to each color. But Chad is a very, very strong red and very, very strong blue. Very, very strong red and very, very strong blue. Yeah. Heavy, like Kate said, very, very strong red, very, very strong blue. You know what I mean? So good. So yeah, so David is definitely a red and yellow. That's correct. What would you guys say Justin Owens is? What do you, this is just to throw it out there to hear you guys' opinion. What do you guys say his colors are? A blue first? A blue first? A green? Red and blue. Red and blue. Absolutely. No, Justin Owens is definitely a blue, but he's a red first. Justin Owens is a red, red. Telling you. Yeah. So good. So guys, look at what it says about yellows. You want to mention opportunities to serve and give back. Okay, somebody asked about Riyadh. What color would you say Riyadh is? For me, Riyadh is a very, very, very strong red, very, very strong yellow. Very, very strong red. Somebody said it, red and yellow. Absolutely. Yeah, very red, very strong yellow. Somebody said Luke is a yellow first. I really ain't sure about Luke like that. I feel like yeah, I feel like Luke would be a red first and then maybe a yellow too. Or maybe a yellow first and then a red. Gary's a super red. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that was saying I feel like Luke would be a yellow red. You know? Yeah, I agree. But let's talk about the yellows. They mention opportunities to serve and give back. Very, very important. They need to hear, hey, look, when you come on this call, you have the opportunity to host, or you have the opportunity to open the call, something that allows them to connect and serve. And look at number 3. You want to share the vision and how many people can be impacted in their team, because impact really matters to yellow. Like truly, like if there's one color that really is about impact first, is a yellow, right? Because here's the thing: when people think about yellows, they think about, I saw a lot of people put it in the chat, saving the turtles and the environment and stuff like that. Yes, that's part of it, but the core of a yellow is really about selflessness. It's really about others. It's really about, how can I, connect and help make an impact outside of me, right? That's really what the core is. So when you hear people talking about saving the whales and stuff like that, because they're making an impact outside of themselves, so you want to remember that, because again, those types of leaders is what the guy Fraser said. They build big organizations that are unified. They're unified. I can bet you this. I would be not surprised if Brandon or what do you man know? What is 750 name? Bryce. I just made names slipping me. Brandon, Bryce, Nate are one of the top leaders in Trade House is a strong yellow. They may not be a yellow first, but the red and the yellow may be competing. How many of you guys can agree with that? Just on your observation, and not just what you see them post on social media, but when they go on live and you hear them talk, somebody in Trade House has to be a strong yellow. Because look at what Leah said. They're always talking about the family, and not in some cliche sense. Like the men is really like there were issues that they faced as a group that they handled as a family. That's why you will hear David say that the love that they have in the group. I'm telling you this, you want to see these things, again, like Lukwame says, through the lens of leadership. One of those guys, whether it's Brandon, and I would not be surprised because Brandon has that hardcore. Brandon is like a, what do you call it, onion? You got that hardcore look on the outside, but I feel like he's a yellow. I feel like he's a strong yellow, right? Yeah. Tell you. Which one is Samuel? Which one is Samuel? Which one is Samuel? Nathan Samuels. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I feel like probably Brandon though. But yeah, so you want to share the vision. You want to talk about, where we're going. Like Nate Samuels. Nate is Nathan, right? Akeem? Yeah, it is. He's a yellow. I get all yellow from him too. I get all yellow from him. Yeah. So you got to be able to identify these things, because again, we're not just teaching you this stuff for the sake of you just knowing the colors. You want to be able to use this now to move people into action. Because at the end of the day, that's what promoters do. There's a story about the guy Don King. How many of you guys know Don King? It's in this book as well. You guys know who Don King is? How many of you guys know who Don King is? Let me end with this. Don King was the #1 promoter. You can research this in boxing, right? They used to call him, they used to talk about his here, right? But do you know that Don King, his net worth was greater than the majority of the boxers that he was promoting? How many of you guys know that? Do some research on Don King. Because the truth is that Don King figured out something. Let me tell you, and this is what we're going to end with, because this is really what I want you to be able to take into applying to your business now. Don King figured out that if he could get people to see the value in something other than himself, if he could get people to buy in, not just to what it is that he's talking about, not just into Mike Tyson and all these events, but into the bigger picture. Because go on YouTube and watch how Don King will promote. Don King is a poet, right? Yes, he would talk about himself as the greatest promoter, but that will come at the end. That will come at the end. Throughout the entire process of promoting, Don King would be emphasizing one, highlighting and really mentioned that at the beginning, edifying one, the event itself. So he would talk a lot about pay-per-view. Then two, he would talk about how talented Mike Tyson is and how, although he has lost, he has been able to come back and just paint the picture about Mike Tyson and then talk about why the event itself is going to be like no other event. Don King figured out that if he could, remember I said that at the beginning, if he could be a signpost, if he could shine the spotlight, if he could point to where he wants people to go and emphasize that, master that, his income exploded. That's the same thing here in this industry of network marketing. But the challenge that some of us face is that one of the main reasons why individuals don't want to consistently promote other events, other people, is because they're caught up in themselves. They're caught up in themselves. And, they will promote themselves heavy, which is important. You got to be able to promote yourself, but you want to be able to promote the moments, the events, the tools, everything else more than you promote yourself. Look at Gary McSween. I like to call Gary McSween Mr. Fundamental. Gary McSween has mastered the fundamentals. Gary McSween is not a prolific speaker. He's not a prolific presenter, but he is a prolific fundamental guy. That man got all the fundamentals mastered. And that's what has allowed him, especially promoting. Gary McSween promotes everything. You got to study these things. Look at Ramari saying facts because Ramari's paying attention. Ramari just isn't. And here's the thing, I'm going to end with this as well, right? When you're on social media, this is what Luke Kwamina said, man. You want to see everything through the lens of leadership. Don't just be consuming data, buying into the hype and, just letting social media program you. See it through the lens of leadership, and be able to clearly identify, hey, look, you know what? This is what this person has been doing consistently, and that's what has allowed him to win. So yeah, guys, so that's it. Again, I promoted it at the beginning, and I'm going to promote it at the end. Shout outs to all of you that went and got the book within the last couple of weeks. And again, guys, if you have not taken the time out to order this book from off Amazon, please do so. You're slowing down your success. You're slowing down your success. This book here has the potential to change, right? Danny said Kai is a red, then the other colors are situational. They're all LL all 3 times. So his colors are situational. Okay. So yeah, back to the book. We need to get this book, guys, because again, that's what all the top leaders are doing. And that's really people that are getting results. Look at Fabian. Fabian's about to crack P2. Such a student. following what the book lays out, following the leaders and doing what's required. Shout outs to you, bro. Congratulations on Platinum 2000. So yeah, guys. So that's it for tonight. Remember the colors and how to craft. So for example, if you're going to promote a call in your group, make sure that you word it in a way that appeals to everyone. So talk about the money that can be made, talk about the fun that you're going to have on the call, talk about, give the stats, like the link and everything to get all the information that's required, and then talk about the overall vision, how it's going to move us closer towards our vision as a team, how it's going to cause the group to grow together. All of that is tactic, that's strategy. And you could study Don King and see how he was able to navigate the conversation. So great, guys. So it was a great call. Thanks for hopping on. See you guys on Monday when we continue with these chairman mentorship calls. So yeah, it's like Sophia said, read the book. Don't just listen to the audio, read the book. So all right, guys, have a great evening.